didn't have a chance to speak. And afterwards, we're going to do a good old fashioned straw poll where everybody gets a paper ballot and of the room, everybody count out who we like here in the finance. And John Rollins, or right, I'm gonna write this down. And Jim Pasetta. So in typical form, yeah, we're gonna, okay, so I just want to be clear, does anybody have an event they have to get to tonight? You do, okay, does anybody object to Bill going first, and then we'll do a straw, you know, we'll pick who comes next, just because he has another event, I'm trying to be accommodating this. All right, so the other 4 of you, we're gonna lock it in the back room.
Don't really tired.
Oh, yeah, we can do that too. Bill, we have 4 minutes.
I heard there are a lot of rules here. Look, if I go over, just shout out traffic. Stop. And I've been a show on New Jersey 101.5 for the past 10 years. And in a bit of a bittersweet moment, tomorrow is my last show. And as disappointed as I am in that, I'm doing it because when I announced that I was going to run for governor in June, my opponents came after me, went to ELEC, went to the FCC, we beat them. And the First Amendment actually does matter in New Jersey. So I kept my day job, which is how I put food on the table. And it was, we had some parameters and guidelines, and we followed them. Now, again, they filed another one of them anyway, yesterday. But I decided a couple of months ago, great, the best in the state, the largest audience in the state, it's a defendant. What does that mean? That means the common sense message is resonating with all New Jerseyans. So I made the decision that it's time to start campaigning full time. So I'm off here, and we are headed to North Jersey, South Jersey. Let me tell you, we've done a lot of events in South Jersey. As you know, I launched the Common Sense Club a few years ago. Largest grassroots organization in the state, 152,000 members are elect common sense people that are driving for Uber Eats and work in retail. They are responding. We've helped hundreds of candidates across the state, North Jersey, the shore, and it's all about local tools and measures. Because in New Jersey, woke Democrats. If I didn't screw it up, here we are. Let me tell you this. I am the only candidate endorsed by New Jersey Rights to Life and National Rights to Life. And the only candidate that's been recalled. 100% candidate on my show a few times. We have had some excellent conversations, both publicly and privately. And I can tell you, as governor, and even as our nominee, 100% cooperation with everything the president wants to do. I was the only one with the guts in this whole field to come out and support the president on the January 6th pardons. Right? Because that's enough. We have to move the country forward. So what you're going to get from me is a lot of practical business experience. I'm going to be 56 in March. Managing years. I've been broadcasting for the last 12, and I'm ready for this next. So I'm looking forward to your questions. This is great. Isn't it exciting to Trump won?
In 2023, 55% of property collected in the state is the public school system. Since the implementation of F200 and the subsequent
From a $3.6 billion deficit to a $900 million surplus. They did that the pensions. They took people out of the defined benefit to a defined contribution. They were able to turn it around. You know what? Your salaries went up, but taxes went down. The other thing is we have to stop subsidizing failing and failed school districts. $1.1 billion to Newark. $1.1 billion. And do you know that 9 out of 10 of those kids cannot do math or read at grade level? What do we get for our investment? Let me tell you what we're going to do. I live in Princeton, Central Jersey. And in Princeton, it costs about $18,000 to go to school. All now, people can work just as one kids, 4,000 kids on a list to get into school. But you must remember the governor, all that. What we're going to do on day so we get those kids get paid. We'll bring those investments to build the and lower cost of and then incentivize the towns to give that money back to the taxpayers. That's all right.
It wasn't the questions were 2 minutes.
It was.
But
I'll keep going if somebody stops me. So
and thank you for being here, Mr. State. Big money organizations such as the NJEA, Garden State Equality, and Planned Parenthood have continued to influence school curriculums through lobbying in direct conflict with parental rights. How will you restore local control and keep their social agendas away from children's classrooms? 15% of New Jersey in 2023 did not attend public school, choosing private school or homeschooling. Do you support the money following the children in an effort to allow parents to choose the education that they feel is appropriate with students?
So it's a two-part question. The first is school choice, school choice, school choice. Yes. And how do you do it? education savings accounts, working now in 13 states, we need to bring that here. Absolutely, parents need to be able to take their money and invest it where they feel their child is going to get the best education. A couple of groups, those organizations that is out there corrupting our kids, Planned Parenthood, you know what I'm going to do with it? Why not veto every dollar of funding?
That's right.
Every dollar.
Let's go.
And you know, the guys that might not be so popular in school, he's zeroing them out. That's it. Why? They're one of the best funding organizations out there. But here's the third part of that. Really, there's a third part. You've got to defund these radical extreme groups. And at the same time, we've got to implement school choice. But the first thing is, we need a Department of Education that is staffed by parents and teachers and people who will be watchdogs to stop the woke agenda in the schools. You immediately get rid of 5756. We follow President Trump's agenda, which is to end the transit of the kids. He just did it by executive order. We're going to do the same thing on day one in New Jersey. We're going to get to we're going to make sure that never again a mom or a dad have to find out that their little Johnny decided to call himself Jimmy and the school didn't tell them about it. That ends on day one. But we need to empower smart people in Trenton who are educators, who are involved in the private sector, bring them into the Department of Education and say, we need to run this better and send support to those school boards that are out there fighting for parents and for children. Because guess what else? You know who the other victim is? The teachers. Teachers don't want to accept this nonsense.
Thank you, Bill. Spadea. Thanks to Governor Murphy, and I have to say, no, I'm not related to him. New Jersey is currently a sanctuary state. If you are elected governor, will you stay here tonight that a top priority of your administration will be to end New Jersey's sanctuary state status? And what will you do as governor to county and municipal entities that declare themselves sanctuary for illegal elements?
We're going to have a little fun with this one. Day one, the minute I'm done my inaugural speech, which I won't have the same time limit, so it might go an hour. I don't know. I like to talk. I'm going to miss the radio. Give me a long speech. But when I'm done, I'm going to step away from the podium and I'm going to sign an executive order that rescinds the 2018 sanctuary state. That's number one. Number two, we're going to sign an executive order to rescind the 2019 Immigrant Trust Directive. And number three, we're going to suspend bail reform by declaring an emergency and start locking these folks up immediately. To the question of the towns. Well, guess what? You don't have a right as a town to take state funding if you're going to break the law. They will be cut off immediately. No sanctuary for any illegal alien in New Jersey, period. Period.
Amen.
I have already had this conversation. One of my opponents, I had this direct conversation with his opponent. He came up when we interviewed the president on the air. I told Tom Holman, I sent him a letter, and he did leak it, but I told him, I said, I'm going to put this out in the press so people can read it. And he said 100% cooperation with President Trump's deportation order, period. New Jersey will no longer, minute one, be a sanctuary for criminal aliens. That's it.
Okay.
We are now going to take it to Eric.
You were number one.
Eric Simkin, for a question from the members.
How you doing, Bill? Thanks for being here.
Sure.
Of the current field of serious Democrat gubernatorial candidates, I'd say all their names start with an S. Okay. What do you think? Who do you think has the best probability of winning their primary and run against you in the general? And what will be your strategy to defeat them? Because that is really what matters.
So I think, it's hard to speculate. There's a public poll that came out, and it was bad news for my Republican opponents. It was worse news for the Democrats because every one of them was in the single digits, except for Michael Sherrill, who was at 10%. So the Democrats have a problem because the primary has been moved to June 10th. So they now have another week to kill each other, and nobody knows who they are. So that's the good news. Who emerges from that? If I were to bet today, I'll say this. Everyone, Josh Biden, say all the time, see, sweet. Yeah, that'd be great. But if I bet today, she tweeted today, it's the waters and there's some issues, and I kept her on the big stage. Like a marker who you can't paint. You feel like a, so any of the Democrats are beatable because every one of them has to defend their support, 100% support for Biden and Harris over the past 4 years. And I'm going to tell you, the Democrats are sick of the riots, the Independents are sick of it, and Republicans are finally woken up and saying, hey, we're ready to fight. So I think they want to be because they understand that this will horrific economic record, safety record, everything else, disrespecting cops, the whole thing. It's a mess. So let's have that. But I will tell you, I'm the only one in the Republican field who is able to go toe with them. Because I have spent a career being able to make friends across the aisle and hold people in, and that's been the great advantage that I've had over the past 12 years as a chief person.
We are going to now go, this is your final question, we'll be going to Jake's answer.
Restricted work gateway for 400 miles of road within Norton State Forest. Another overreach. I guess I just put it apart with that. They ignored the majority of the people in the public service process. And then the last time they found around resolutions in opposition to the first process of play. To restore public motor vehicle access to these roads, and you consider as commissioner of the
Well, first things first, the answer is yes, 100%. The reason is, Sean Watts-Arrett is the head of the DEP right now. I don't know how to say it. I mean, let's be nice. He's simply not qualified for the job. He's not qualified. He's a climber. And the problem, and he gets mad when I say it on the radio, and I've been attacking him for years, because he's completely incompetent. They gave no reason to close those trails. We're going to open every single one of them on day one. But it's more than just opening the trails in Park State Parks. You know, I learned to drive there. My dad taught me how to drive a stick-shift Jeep in the old gravel pit. It was off those roads near Basco. I learned to shoot in those woods. You know, if you've been to Basco in that area, you know, there are some of those old homes that have, you know, long since gone away, but the so pro fishermen, pro outdoor. We need to recognize that the fishermen are the backbone of conservation. We need to support them. So we're going to get some who understand the outdoors, some of the people that value our state forests and recognize that the ones using it, even the ones for the ATVs, they're the ones that preserve it. They're the ones that keep it better for the rest of us for generations.
Thank you, Mr. City. Wait, how much time do I have left? You had 4 seconds left.
So, Sam, hey guys, thank you so much. Really, thank you. Really appreciate it.
The weather is not 4 minutes. Yes, we'll have 2 minutes left in the business here.
All right. A lot of you know me from the radio. Some of you know me from Fox TV. I made a decision to run for governor because I am sick and tired of these elites and bureaucrats and professional politicians. Every one of my opponents is a professional politician that held office. You know what I haven't done? I haven't held office. You know that my opponents are trying to make that a negative. They're trying to give it a negative. Oh, the loser. He lost the race for Congress 20 years ago. Still, the bottom line is, I want you. We're together. You know, I remember when Chris Christie vilified the teachers and the state workers. Well, I look at it this way. Some of you may work for the state. Some of you may work for your municipality. You know who's a government worker? Policemen, firefighters. They're government workers. It's about working and middle-class people rising up and standing strong against the elites in the back room. Enough of the insurance companies. Enough of the big hospitals. Why is my insurance rates going up 54%? My real estate taxes 25%. They are not looking out for me and you. They're looking out for themselves. And you ask any candidate that comes before you, do you really have the guts to take on the special interest? Do you really have the guts? I'm leaving with this thought. All my Republican friends thought I was crazy. I was the only one that marched with the Robert Wood Johnson nurses when they went on strike. Because I was sick and tired of the big hospitals and the millionaires pushing these great heroes around. And they did it. I stood with them. I marched with them proudly because it's about time that New Jersey goes back to our roots. Working and middle-class people, small business owners, moms and dads, we got to get back to normal. And we got to follow the lead of President Trump and implement every one of his policies to make New Jersey great again. Thank you very much.
All right.
The most important thing, and if everybody could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, wait, do I have to do it again?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right.
Okay, so next
Take this,
up,
please.
we're gonna
Likewise.
have Brandon. I got it right this time. And you get an additional 4 minutes to speak about whatever you like.
Good evening, everyone. I'm John Brandon, and as I run for governor around the state, I had no idea how many people didn't like me. Thousands of people come up to me and don't like me, and you know who they are? They're the Democrats. And you know why they don't like me? Because they think I'm the Republican who can win the general election. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that because you're going to hear some candidates tonight of everything they want to do when they get to Trump. Well, guess what? You got to win first before you can do anything. So let me do a little bit of proof to my friends here tonight why I can win the general election. I'm up at what they call District 21. District 21 has 7,000 more Democrats than Republicans. 72% are either Democrats or unfavored. There are only 25% Republicans. You know who just won in District 21? Kamala Harris. You know who also won District 21? Yours truly, John Brady, by 7 points. Biden won my district by 17 points. I won my district by 7 points. Now you might say, well, how do you win a district by 7 points? Well, I've got this theory. I've now been in the Senate for 4 years. I was the Republican leader in the House for 10 years, elected by every Republican in the Assembly unanimously 5 times. Well, I understand. You're this Republican, but you can win a district that Kamala Harris wins. And every Democrat and every media person says Bammick's the scariest candidate who can win in November. Here's why. When I talk to people, no matter who they are, Democrat, Republican, unaffiliated, I treat them with respect. There's no reason for us to be angry or defined as angry. We are really good on the policies, but we have to be perceived as people with a heart. Let me give you an example. The last 20 years, the Democrats have controlled the state legislature. They have run amok with respect to spending. They have crazy energy policies that want, they believe that windmills will solve the energy crisis. They're against natural gas. They're against nuclear plants. They also believe that every time someone commits a crime, that the criminal should get some kind of break. The Republicans don't feel that way. And you know what I also find about Trenton, when you call an agency, they disrespect you. They don't pick up the phone. They don't return your call. Someone like you under, positively. I believe when I started 20 years ago in the legislature, I thought civility was important. As a Republican, I believe humility is important. Because if we are humble people and we're intelligent people and we treat people with respect, we will win this election by 10 points. But if we come out of the box, calling Phil Murphy names, calling Joe Biden names, guess what?
Hello, everybody. It's Eric here. I really need to turn this guy off because he is straight up a Democrat and Republican close. Thank you very much for watching. God bless America. God bless your families.